Commerce. And we have,
Okay.
we're here to discuss.
Yes, I was asked, first off, I'm Chris Wardrop, and tonight I'm here representing the Town and County Chamber of Commerce. I've been involved with and a member of this chamber for a number of years and currently chair the Economic Development Committee. The chamber's been around obviously for a long time, and I've given you some information that actually comes either straight off their website, so you can see it, or there's actually a membership application which has a fee structure. And generally, to kind of cut to the chase, the question is, should the town of Stafford join the chamber? And the cost is $320 annually. It's a flat charge. There's an initial $25 processing fee that I saw in there. I'm not sure if that can be waived or not. But a number of your neighbors, such as Vernon and Towland and Ellington, they're members of the chamber, and we believe that they do get some good benefits. The committees that we have an ambassador committee. We have the board of directors that meets monthly. We have the committee that I chair, the Economic Development Committee, which we feel is a real important one too. There's a lot of activity that goes on in the chamber, all volunteers. There's an executive director, Candace Corsione, who some of you might know. And the idea is really to support small and mid-sized local businesses. It's to allow for education, allow for those organizations to have a voice, to allow municipalities and utilities and others to have a voice as well. And the whole idea is really to grow together. And it's been going well. I mean, Connecticut is, as we all know, a very, very difficult place to do business, whether it is a privately owned business or it's a municipality. And yet, the chambers continue to, let's say they've continued with their mission. They've done very, very well. About 350 members. You can go on the website, you can actually see who those members are. But from the perspective of, what have we done? We have a business awards program. We have after-hours events. They're all designed to connect people. Networking is incredibly important today, and that's a big part of it. We have an auction. There's a business-to-business showcase. But when I looked at it, part of the reason that I got involved with the Economic Development Committee is that I actually have a real interest in municipalities, helping in my career. But also, what I see with the Economic Development Committee is we have economic development coordinators. Like, for instance, some of you might know Sean Gately over in Vernon. And not to single him out, but he attends these meetings on a monthly basis. And I see him talking to local business people. And you can tell that they're working, trying to help each other out. There's a lot of, I know Coventry is a member, John Elsesser, the town manager, he attends different meetings. I see him talking to Steve Werbner sometimes from Towland. And we just see government officials and leaders and others that there's a lot of networking that goes on. And so, our mission, getting right down to it again, is trying to help municipalities. But we're really trying to help what is, in essence, the taxpayers. So it's those small and mid-sized businesses, it's Main Street businesses, it's trying to help them thrive when we're dealing with e-commerce, we're dealing with big box stores and things like that happening too. So that's really, in a nutshell, what the chamber does. So I don't know if there's money in the budget. Ironically, in 2007, I actually made a presentation to your Economic Development Commission or whatnot, and we talked about some of those similar things. We know that cost is an issue. We know that every dollar spent outside of Stafford, to something is a dollar that has to be explained, so we get that. But I just wanted to come out here and just let you know that we're doing well, and we've got some energy, we've got good leadership, and if I can answer any questions that you have, I'm more than happy to. And if I can't answer them, I'll have the executive director do something.
So, I just have a question. You're on the EDC in your town as well?
I am not on the EDC of my town. Unfortunately, my career and my family don't allow me to serve in that capacity. But this is the Economic Development Committee that is part of the Town County Chamber of Commerce. So we meet on roughly a monthly basis, probably more like 6 to 8 times a year. And that is made up of people who work for different businesses in town. We have the executive director, we have an administrative assistant, and then we have some municipal officials who attend those meetings as well.
So, provided we go forward with this, would someone come and speak to our EDC and kind of give us ideas on how we can work with this Town County Chamber of Commerce?
Would we visit your economic development committee, or would we send a rep basically there?
More it would be you sending a rep
Okay.
who
Yep.
would come to our committee. But I would also say that if it was to act as a catalyst, to a bridge for communication, if there was a need for a member like myself or somebody else to come to your economic development committee, to just talk to them a little bit more about that, knowing that you can't get all of them over to the chamber office, I will tell you right now that I would volunteer to do that.
Thank
The
you.
whole idea, again, is working together. So whatever we need to do to help in that capacity.
The majority of the towns that are supported, as it says, are they all members for the most part?
Yes, when I looked at that list, as far as I can tell, every one of those is a
It's
member.
everybody but us,
Well,
to be truthful.
So,
Right.
yeah,
I like how Stafford stands on its own two feet.
Yeah, we like to be independent, but.
so Union and Wellington participants?
Willington, I'll check on Union, because for some reason I don't recall seeing Union at any of the meetings. I thought that Willington was, but certainly I can check it, I know the first select woman, selectman.
I
know
what
it's a
the
little crossover
normal
there.
chambers do, it makes sense as businesses, but I figured it'd meet, that's why when I heard about it, and I heard we weren't a member, why not? Is this just another mess for us? I think it is. I think it makes sense for us, but nominal fee to be involved too, if nothing else, to meet other officials and other individuals from other towns, the same coordination to figure out what are you guys doing similarly to us, what are you doing differently, same size towns, it all kind of works out, one voice. So I think, maybe it's a no-brainer,
Being a member brought one business in the town and would pay for itself.
right? I just think.
It was one thing
Actually, now you think about it, the town of Bolton was not a member for a period of time, and then they became a member. And it was interesting because just even my hometown of Ellington, there are certain highways or state roads where there's a need to look at possible development in a responsible way. Ellington, we have the Route 83 going from north-south. Andover had the Route 6 issue. Bolton was talking about the 44 issue, and there's some commonality in some of those issues in some municipal officials, which they can talk on their own anyway.
Sure.
But sometimes when you have a mixture of an audience that includes some of the businesses that could potentially win or lose depending on what type of development, it was actually nice to see that as well. So you might find, like you said, that there could be some opportunities there.
I would entertain a motion if someone wants to make one regarding joining this.
I'll make a motion that we approve to join the Town County Chamber of Commerce. I think we can scrape together $320 to
Okay.
be a
Is
member.
there a second?
I'll second that.
The only discussion is if, I don't know if you could waive that fee that we talked about. I got no problem doing that, so just throwing it out there. I don't know exactly what the fee's for, but administrative fee, I think,
This is start
Right.
off.
it's the fine print, right?
Right, no, I'm in public forum too, I will make that request formally in writing to the
Sure.
executive director. And, well, obviously give my support to waiving that fee. I think every little bit counts.
There you go. Any other discussion? No, having heard none, all those in
Thank you
favor?
very much.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, Chris, thanks so much.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it.
I was for the approval, not.
Yeah, oh, I figured as much. Mark, it's on camera, don't you? I don't think
Approval
we'll
with
do it.
conditions.
Chris, thanks again.
Okay, thank you for putting it on the agenda.
You got it.
Thanks, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
Resolution endorsement and authorization ICE program. Beth, you reading this thing? Is this this is your truck?
Correct.
Oh.
Rick Hardenstein's here, I
I
took a
think he's not
visit.
here to see the truck.
He, I'll tell you a little bit about what it is, if you guys don't already know. I visited his, operation there yesterday, saw the thing in action. Amazing stuff, in a nutshell, kind of, everybody's benefit, Rick, can you just kind of explain it to us?
Sure. It's a camera truck. It's a truck that has basically like a remote control camera on it. It can go up pipe up to 1,000 feet until you have to move the truck to the next manhole. But it comes with video screens, recorders, voice recorders, so you can find broken pipes, you can find cracks, roots, anything that could be in a pipe. Right now, we pay $1,500 a day to have somebody do our pipes, and we get about 1,500 feet done in a day. So, where this piece of equipment, we applied for this grant with Ellington and Vernon. It's the
Shallow capital equipment.
Yeah, thank you. So all three of us would share the truck. We'd come up with agreements. All this had to be done before we could apply for the grant. The truck is $232,000, and we will get 80% grant for that. So the towns will split the balance of that 80% of the $232,000. We've also come up with checklists, who's gonna house the vehicle, how it's gonna go out, how long each town will have it, emergency situations if we need it. So it'll be able to keep better eye what's going on underground. So if we have water coming in from somewhere that we spend a lot of money on to try and process down the plant, we should be able to find it and correct the problem. So
It's like a little, moon rover, really,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It
So
really is.
the grant's for
That's-
80,000, 80% of the 200 and something thousand, right?
yeah,
And then
We're
the
sharing
rest of the
it.
20% we split three ways?
correct.
Do we know what that works out to be for us, about 70 grand?
Technically, it comes out of the PCF budget,
Right, it's,
Oh,
it's really not that much.
even better.
yeah, but the way the grant, was, it had to come to the board as a town, and the town had to approve it, even though WPCA could be paying for it.
Does this have to go to town meeting?
It's under $20,000 each of us will be careful with that.
The other key thing is,
Cool.
for the uses he describes for his organization, technically will allow and help the town, should we have situations where it could work in performance of the public works department, in situations where this thing might field, it allows us to see something from the ground.
Any idea over an average year how much we spend when we do $1,500? What do you say, $1,500 an hour or
$1,500 a day.
a day? How,
Yeah.
on an average year, how much do you think we spend paying that kind of money out?
Sure. Not enough, because it's so expensive. We don't do probably what we should.
Okay.
One of the programs that EPA is making sure everybody's doing now is video camera and people tracking collection systems. So we would have to do more doing this, so it's definitely gonna save us down the road. But yeah, we haven't done as much as we probably should have right now.
And that video you can save to a file and use, like you can keep that video, it's not just a camera that goes in, or it doesn't save, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You save like a movie file somewhere so that if you have to go back and review it or whatever, you can go back and look at it.
Yes, it'll actually get tied into our GIS system, which we're working on, so every manhole has a number, every piece of pipe in between the manholes are numbered, and then you'll have a report for every section of pipe you do. It comes with a software package, again, it ties to the GIS, all the videos will go to that, and you'll have the reports for everything. We're hoping in a 3-year turnaround, we'll be able to do our whole entire system in 3 years, because we'll get it 3 months out of the year. Each town will have it for 3 months, and then the 3 months during the winter, it will be housed and be used only in emergency. So it's tough to sit for 3 months, but again, if the roads are bad, then the chemicals that they put on the roads, you really don't wanna be out with the equipment.
And, we are sharing it with 2 other towns, so we
we will have it for 3 months. And then it'll go to Ellington, and it'll go to Vernon. If an emergency happens in that 3 months that we need it, there's an agreement that whoever has it will get it to the other town for whatever period of time, hopefully a couple days.
And it comes with the software wind can, yeah.
Yes, comes with the whole package, the GIS package. One thing we did find out, we have to have 3 licenses, we found it out yesterday, so we're gonna have to adjust that, but, that'll be.
What this software says, John, is that the WinCan DX lets you database your inspections, deliver detailed reports, share projects via cloud, map your data, and achieve PACP compliance. I don't know what that means, but, so,
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
it's pretty neat.
Like, basically, you use it 10 days, then you pay for our portion of it, right?
Yeah,
Which
Pretty
I
simple.
would guess we'd use it for 10 days, so, I
Yeah,
think it's a no-brainer.
proactively log
And
in.
and then you'd be more thorough if you climbed through the pipe with an iPhone and flashlight. You know.
I think it actually could see better than me right now, so.
And this is all built into your budget already.
Correct. Yeah, we've been working on this since last June,
Yep.
trying to put it all together, the whole package and everything, so.
I think it's great.
So, what do we have to pass a resolution?
Yep. And authorize you to sign. So right on top.
Okay, I'll make a motion to pass the resolution for the Intertown Capital Equipment Purchase Incentive Program. Environment site. Yeah. I'll make a motion.
It's good. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion? We heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yeah, just thank you, Rick.
Yeah.
You always do a great job.
Emily?
I wish I could see the thing in operation.
So when we get it,
Yeah,
we'll
when
Yeah, yeah.
let you
When you
know.
send it down the hole, let me know.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
All right. Oh, we gotta approve the minutes? Let's.
Yeah, I had a question.
That was the article on the camera truck.
Okay. Question on the minutes?
Yeah, I just, we had approved that money for the swap shed. Where is the swap shed? What's going on with that?
Yeah, we keep asking, we're like, hey, state.
There was
Yeah, you're
something
ready?
going on with the state, and she assures us we're gonna get the money, it's just them approving all the proper paperwork.
Right,
before
the money,
they
the
get it.
money is there, we're just waiting for them to say, yeah, basically.
I could email her before I went on vacation, but I'm not.
I asked,
sure
well,
yet.
probably once a week to say, can you get back this shit, can you close this, so.
All right, just seems to be dragging on.
Yeah, I know, it's a drag, anybody wants to know?
Everybody wants to, get that question.
Yep. So the minutes of May 26th, June 7th, and July 6th.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I will second the motion.
Discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Wow. These are the these the transfers?
It was part of the minutes.
They're part of the minutes? Okay.
The next one is the bid, actually it's conservation commission, which we don't have any paperwork on.
All right, that's good find.
What was, I see the topic, but what's the discussion about conservation commission? Did somebody want to see it? Hi, Kitty.
Hi,
State your name for the record.
I
and
am
your-
Kitty Schooley, 45 Old Munson Ave.
Terrific.
Also
Is this
the
your first
chair-
time here, Kitty?
You guys aren't paying me. so-
This is true, absolutely volunteer. You are the chairman of the conservation commission.
Conservation.
Very good. What do we do, Claire?
Okay, it came to our attention that there is a piece of property off of Penny School Road that is owned by the town. And it's approximately, somewhere between 3 and 4 acres. All of it is south of Penny School Road and north of Furnace Brook. And, I got a Google Maps here. but,
Okay.
Anyway, so we own all of this, and then a little bit over this way. And what the Conservation Commission is asking asking permission to develop, a nature trail there. There's already kind of sort of a trail there because ATVs go in there.
Mhm.
So they kind of keep the growth down because they're in there.
Yep.
But we want to see it more user-friendly to hikers. It would be a very short trail, but there's a possibility of maybe putting in, like some overlay looks of the brook that people could fish from and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So, anyway, that's what we're just asking permission to, develop that as a little nature trail and,
I guess my concern that you described, and I spoke to you, and Ingrid, I think, is the fact that, it's currently used by ATVs. I'd be kind of concerned with a nature trail that, potentially we got folks in there that's
yeah, I
No.
guess, there would be a possibility of putting something to block them, like.
Your trails, correct me if I'm wrong, your trails generally are open, kind of open air trails, right?
Right.
But in this case, you may want to build something less natural and more with a defined, rail system, maybe, is that what you're saying?
Well, we would need financial support from somebody in town in order to do extensive development.
Mhm.
But, that is a possibility that we would be looking at in the future. But I mean, I guess one of the things about getting the ATVs is like, either like some really big boulders or, I don't know what they're called. Dennis, help me, pylons or stick.
So we're talking about blocking the ATVs?
Yeah, from getting from the road onto the trail so that it's, you know, more friendly to hikers
Mhm.
and
So, if I
fishing.
don't know if you guys know the location, so your back is at the Penny School and you cross the road,
Right,
it's that cut through that connects to the dump road, let's call it.
Yeah.
So is it immediately right there on the right or the left?
there's
next
a
to that
bridge
property?
there?
Yep.
As soon as you get over the bridge, that's town property.
Now, how would we potentially close off the access off the Penny School Road for them to get on that trail? Could they just not go through the neighbor's yard or elsewhere?
Oh,
With their
there's,
ATV?
yeah,
Know what I mean?
it's right up against the road.
Yeah.
It is right up, you know, the town property, our, Ingrid and I were in the assessor's office, and, we looked at it, yeah, so, the town property actually goes right along the road.
Mhm.
So, I guess the only question would be like maybe putting some
Guardrail system or something like that?
guardrail, or maybe
Can I see
like
your
a
map?
little bit of, yeah.
Do you want me to pull up on GIS?
Yeah, it's like, it's all
Appreciate it.
in this area right there, and it goes around this a little bit, and then that's Susie's property there, but it
Okay,
goes
so I
right
know.
there.
Did he give them the golf?
Two separate projects, mutually exclusive. Yeah, so, well, the idea, of course, in concept is always good. We're very supportive of your commission, as you can see by your increase in your budget. It sounds like though, there's gonna be a financial impact that, for us to make it kind of safe enough where there's not these ATVs going through, we're kind of trying to eliminate them. So I think as an idea, it's a good start to an idea, but I think I need a little bit more investigation to figure out physically, how would we make it safe so there aren't
Yeah.
their bikes or ATVs going through, because I guarantee it, if they're there now, they'll figure out a way. And I don't want, we prevent them from our property and they go to a neighbor now. All of a sudden now they chew up the neighbor's yard, and now just under the rule issue, we haven't figured out. So that would be my concern. No, go ahead.
The other question is it large enough for like a hiking trail? Just wondering if there's a big I don't know how much of a financial investment, but I mean, is it large enough to?
Yeah, well, one of the things that I'm working on for financial is getting, buy-in from the Lions Club.
Uh-huh.
Because I know they were looking for a big project.
Sure.
And the swap shed, which you just mentioned, was one of the things they were gonna do, and
Yep.
then you got a grant, so.
Yep.
You know, so, I kinda wanted somebody else from the commission to present it to the Lions Club, cause.
I got you. We're in conflict kinda because you're on the Lions Club. I got
Cause
you.
I'm on both.
I will tell you this,
so.
they have expressed interest in assisting the town in the fence job as well, so no offense, don't take our donation, because we'd like to get that done. That's very, very visible, and
Right.
now, like I said, here's a great idea for us to look at. I think a little more detail is a little bit concerned. If there's an
Yeah.
existing kind of a trail already kind of mapped out, then how much work would we have to do? And maybe you're not gonna prevent these people, but as long as it's safe enough and your idea is to have people go there, that's a very narrow, small road, and now if
Yeah,
things
that's
work
what
out,
I'm
we get people to go there, I got parking issues as
Right.
questions as
That
well,
would be
so.
That's what I was gonna say, if you
Yeah.
put a guardrail, you'd have to like kind of put it back, so
Right,
you would have some parking space.
right. So there's a little more to it, so I think, yeah, if you guys do a little more looking into, what the real details are that we have to address. And then, as I said, we've been very supportive financially and otherwise, and maybe there is some way we can do it depending on what kind of work is involved. We're here to listen, so if you got more details, you can get it, that'd be great. I
Okay.
think it'd be great. I'd say we should table it for now until we get that information. That's fair.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second
Okay. So, that'll be the plan, put together a little more things. I know Steve's been over there to visit and check it out.
Yeah,
And,
Ingrid, Paul Pearson, and
Yep.
myself, we did a walkthrough a few Sundays ago.
Okay.
So, I mean, it definitely has potential.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's the site of an old mill, I guess, we don't really know what happened to the mill,
Yeah.
but,
I don't know, it's one of those
here she
classic-
is, there I is.
classic.
They already tabled it, so.
Oh.
Yeah, we table it because there's a little more involved, as she talked to the potential for, I guess right now, the ATVs maybe go through there, and we're a little concerned, safety-wise, if we have to kind of designate your trail with potentially some safety concerns, and then parking on that very small
Right,
road.
there's not much.
And we got just a little more detail for us to get, because we're concerned with, hopefully it goes forward, it becomes a trail, and we've already cared for the parking issue, because God forbid we say, yeah, you get it, and now all of a sudden, now we have a parking thing we never
Yeah.
thought about. So I'm thinking, let's get this first mapped out, and then we'll look at the trail.
Okay.
Okay?
And, I sent you an email about moving that stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I will get them, it's all designated, there's some stuff in the registrar's office that's for that commission, and it's gonna be moved, that's what we're talking about. So I will get that moved on,
Okay,
I will get it moved
okay,
on, okay?
'cause I worked very hard.
I know you did, and I appreciate it, Kitty, thanks so much.
So, that's it.
Thanks, Kitty. Ingrid, thank you.
Nice night for a drive.
The next item, the bid for the transfer station retaining wall. We got these bids, which are designated here from 4 companies regarding work that we need to have done regarding replacement of a wall, it's crumbling. I take that back, it's not crumbling, it's got nothing to do with it. It's old and it basically now it should have been replaced. So we got 4 bids, but to be honest, they came in higher than we anticipated for what we thought for the scope of work, so we're re-looking at the scope of work that we need to have done or required to have done for a safe and practical retaining wall. And we're reestablishing what those parameters are, and we're discussing one of the options, the low bidder, as it were. First of all, it's not designated low bidder, we get the bid, that's one of the rules. Second, though, if they have an ability to work within what the RFP said, and there were a couple of things in there regarding PSI of the concrete, we may be able to use different material which will lower the bid. So Works Director and myself discussed it, and we bring in Dennis for his expertise. So when we have this design of this thing, what are the minimal requirements that we need, and what's gonna care for what we want done? And then some of the scope of work actually could be performed by our own employees that we wouldn't have to pay a contractor to do. So that will change. That's why we can't approve, will not approve any kind of bid now, because it's still in state force.
Okay, can you go over some details on what you're getting on with?
Yeah, you see where the dumpsters are, where all the recyclables, all that stuff, it's that wall.
Okay.
Giant blocks, concrete blocks that is a wall created to support those and it's a
Okay.
buffer. That thing is 20-something years old and it's just really falling apart over time. And that has to be replaced. And that's what we put out as a bid for somebody to do that work. So we'll table that. Do I need a motion to table, or I can? Hey, can I get a motion to table it?
Make a motion to table.
I will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Appointments. Did we have any?
I believe so.
The only thing in my mind was, I don't know if we cared for it in the previous meeting, was Andrew Smith, who's kind of sitting as the chairperson for the EDC. I don't know if that technically went through Selectmen meeting for approval. I'm trying to remember if it did. It might have. I just
She
wanted to
might be
make
in those
sure.
minutes, actually.
I mean, I know I see her on the website designated as the chairperson, but I just want to make sure, we're following the rules of what we're supposed to do.
We don't appoint the
We do.
chair, we do.
In that particular, it's one of those interesting things, and one of the commissions we appoint that chairperson.
Oh,
Peter Kowalewski was acting chairperson, came to me and said, when my business has changed, I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna be stepping down, so can you,
We did it on July 6th.
oh, terrific, so we're all set, so we have no other appointments? No, I will, there is one more to discuss, and at least I gotta bring it up. We had a person put in a, application to join the Community and Civic Affairs group. Mary Newmeister, that's her name, I think. So anyway, the issue that was brought to me was, she runs the ice cream truck, okay? And she was one of the vendors, a for-profit vendor at the Summerfest. The only thing somebody brought to me was, as a vendor, and if you're in the Community Civic Affairs group that's in charge of Summerfest, is there a conflict? I don't know on the surface, but it was at least a bit of a question to ask if there was an issue where you would recuse yourself, if it had to do with approving vendors or guidelines for approving vendors. There potentially would be something to it, because she is a for-profit vendor. Likewise, Melissa Buchanan is, we did approve an appointment for that commission, but she was also a vendor in this go-around, so that raised a question from someone as well. Fair question. We're discussing. I had her in my office, she was asking about it. I told her my concern, the fact that, it's all in the perception. If somebody says, hey, wait a second, I do an ice cream truck too, she's on your commission to approve vendors, am I getting a fair shake kind of a thing? It's a fair question, because they have had that.
They're on the commission, they're there to work and
Yeah, I
not to sell their
Right, the
product.
commission members generally, they're not there as vendors, but as she explained, hey, I just have my husband run it. But again, fair is fair, if somebody from another company wanted to come in, we don't have two. The rules basically under the Conservation Commission for Summerfest was basically, you don't have two people doing the same thing. So how do you determine who gets that? Because maybe she's from town, the person not from town doesn't get it, the person who's been here longer. Really? I mean, that all of a sudden becomes gray in my mind about what's fair. So it's either, that would preclude her from being a vendor, or we come up with some determination to help that commission make a decision
Well, I have a suggestion.
Yes, sir.
I know when I was on the Board of Ed and there was an issue with my nephew.
Yep.
I just sat out during whatever.
Yep.
Excuse myself, and
Right, so that person.
So if there's any sort of a conflict of interest, then she should just step away and,
Right.
and, have to,
I agree.
yeah.
Yep.
And then I don't
That
really
makes
think
sense.
that, I mean, that doesn't mean there won't be in the future, but I mean, at this point right
Right.
now, it's not like we had overwhelming amount of vendors trying to get in and knocking
Sure.
their door down. Took everybody we could get, as far as I understand.
So
Um,
here's what we would need to do, we would at least have to relay our idea or concerns to that commission. It doesn't mean they have to adopt it.
Right.
Because we're not in charge of that commission. We appointed them, they are now in their position, so technically they could say, yeah, well, we're not gonna do that. Right?
Did we appoint that person? to the
She's
commission?
on there currently,
But
but
she's
she
on
didn't
there,
come
but-
out until all of a sudden she was a member of someplace, so
Okay.
it didn't come to the forefront
Right.
until that time. That's why I said, well, I'm gonna hold off, because it's not really fair. And I can't make that we can't make that commission do anything.
Right.
So, I think that's a great solution, but how do we let that group know that? And how do we work that solution? So, we can always, there's another reason we may have to schedule a special meeting in the next week or so. I may have to do this retaining wall, so I say table that for now until maybe we can talk to a couple of those commission members or the acting
See if
chairman
they're
at least,
receptive to that.
and see what it is, yeah, so she understands what the issue is.
Good idea.
Okay? I need a motion then?
I'll make a motion to, table the appointments for, who's it?
Her name's Mary.
Mary Newmeister.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Transfers. These, first of all, I made it clear to, the Public Works Department that, these things, first of all, we sent an email back in June-ish about getting transfers in by end of budget season. There's a reason there's a budget. It's to have the transfers cared for. Now, not 100% of all of them can be addressed before end of the previous year's budget because we sometimes don't get them billed. But certainly, I should know as a selectman, hey, I've got some transfers sitting out there that we need to be aware of. So, in this case, this went past what I anticipated or requested regarding transfers. We handled those in the July 6th meeting or even June meeting. So I talked to this department, said, yep, next year we're not gonna do this again, so I need these transfers way ahead of where we are this year. They understood that, and said absolutely. So, hopefully we improve on our, how we get things done near the end of budget season, so there's no surprises. These transfers are all within their department, and there's a couple of transfer stations.
Pretty much just paperwork.
Yep. It's just moving the money to pay, basically bills is really what they are, I think, I think it's all. So I need a motion to approve the transfer.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfers.
Is there a second?
I will talk on the transfers.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? Having heard none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Letter from the Economic Development Commission. It's attached. Here we go. This is from Andrew, the chairperson. Dear Selectmen, on behalf of the Economic Development Commission of Stafford Springs, I write to you today to request that the Board of Selectmen consider recognizing former Economic Development Commission member Mr. Fran Moriarty for his many years of volunteer service on the commission. Mr. Moriarty was a productive and helpful member of the EDC for many years, and he recently resigned for personal reasons. His volunteer work extended beyond the mere attendance of meetings, as he was always willing to spend extra time meeting with businesses and conducting other EDC activities. The EDC recommends that the town of Stafford formally recognize Mr. Moriarty in whatever manner the board deems appropriate. I know Fran, he's done a great job. He did put in his resignation, said he didn't want to re-up, I think his term ended July 6th, honestly. Wasn't able to stay on there, but I think we can certainly have a letter of appreciation for the selectmen, thanking him for his years of service. He still is on another board, I think, Yeah, basically a certificate of performance. But I can put that together and I'll sign it. Perfect.
Think they'll come to a meeting so we can grade them?
Yeah, you probably would. Yeah, Fredd's good. Are you on Fred?
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah, I think we can do that. We'll get that scheduled as soon as possible.
Fair enough.
Need a motion for that, though? Are you sure about that? Dennis will test me on the
definitely
rules
sure.
after the fact.
All right.
Discussion on permit fee waivers for foundation replacements. Okay. So as we all know, there are, so far, we've had, help me, Mary, three? Two
I
requests
only had 2 requests.
for foundation replacement work?
I only had 1, you had 2.
Fair enough. One person is he complete? Wally complete?
Is Wally complete?
Yes.
Wally Brisson, it's up in Oak Ridge.
Yeah. So he was the first gentleman, and then we had subsequent person come to see us, who, it's been identified he has a concrete problem, and was inquiring whether the town would waive the, permit fees for, foundation replacement. I've attended, numerous meetings, some at the state level, some with CROG, the organization that covers 39 towns, and this has been discussed. Currently, there's only one town that decided with their town council to waive the fees, that's South Windsor. But the majority of the rest of the group are trying to figure out together, as we are with it, the concrete issue in its general topic, where is the town going? What do we do? As concerned board about what they've fallen into for issues and what expenses. The state's investigating it still. Today's paper talked about at the federal level, maybe getting a tax write-off for potentially for concrete issues, but nobody's come up with anything to really help those folks with the huge expense. The fee much more minimal, but it's based on cost of what the repair is. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis.
Yes.
So part of the issue is, and which I raised with my counterparts in other towns, was there's a state fee imposed as well as part of what they have to pay. Now, we have no legal ability to waive a fee of the states, and I would attempt ever to do that in the state's budget. So there's more to it than just us saying, you know, we do care about what you're going through, and it's difficult, we understand, and by all means, we certainly would want to waive that, but I received a memo from our building official, who's the one who has to go on these visits and has to do the approvals. There's a lot to it. There's 5 to 8 site visits for inspections. There's a lot of work behind it, and while Alan can speak for myself, I think we absolutely care for these residents of ours that are going through this. I'm trying to get some direction as a concerted 19 towns that have this issue, so we all are kind of following the same message. And right now, my counterparts in other towns haven't tackled it yet to determine, is it for us to do? Is the state coming up with a solution? Is there financial resolution that's coming from their, which in my opinion would be the insurance companies for them? So I'm a little hesitant to start to determine that I can waive fees on the onset, but I understand clearly what's going on. I think I need to have more information to figure out, again, as a group, and the state's investigation is coming back in September, so supposedly we'll have more information to figure out, is there a real solution, and what is that solution that may in fact address this question about us forgiving fees. Now, as I said, some of the information I have is The contractors are not forgiving any fees or costs. I mean, the cost is the cost. And I guarantee, while they feel with these people, because they spend a lot more time than we do with them, I guarantee you, they're at their homes, they see it, they see their kids, they see their families. And so, while I'm not trying to do a comparison, the fact is, if their fee was, let's say, as a hypothetical $100,000, and they waived the $1,000 fee, that would help them then pay for the fee, because the town now, the other residents in town without the issue, basically are paying for their fee. And, so it's difficult.
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
We open up a box like that and it could get, I mean, I sympathize with them just like everybody else, but I don't know that we can just, blanket statement that we're gonna waive fees. I mean, we gotta look out for the town, right? We're paying a building inspector to go out there, what does it say, 7, 8 times? 5 to 8 times. I think we've already had some reassessments done, right?
Yep.
And we're losing money there, so we now start losing permit money. I mean, we're like everybody else. We have a lot of work that needs to be done in this town, and, not that I'm not sympathetic to it, and not that I'm, not open to a solution. I don't think we can just say we're gonna waive fees for foundation issues. I just don't think that's the right thing to do at this point. Maybe, maybe there's another avenue we can go to help them out. I don't know, but I think we just need to be careful. I mean, this opens up could open up potentially a big hit for us.
My feeling is this, is that, and I agree with you, we have to be careful. However, these people are taking it upon themselves, not waiting for a resolution from the state, to spend the $60,000+ on their own to redo a foundation, where if they don't do it, we may be reassessing their home and losing way more than that $1,000 every year. So if this is going to be an incentive for people to take it upon themselves to get their foundation redone, then I don't really have an issue with it, excluding the fact that they would still have to pay the state fee. And again, I realize we still have to explore more. That's just
So are we
my
saying
general
that
feeling.
anybody that would have their fee waived could not go for a reassessment?
Well, they would have their foundation redone, the whole reassessment's based on the fact that they had a crumbling foundation, and if it's not repaired, then their home has lost value, in which case with the reassessment.
If it takes more than a year to do that, then their reassessment could happen for that year until they get it done, right?
Yeah, up to 5 years.
So that's just another variable.
Right, no.
Right, no, you're right, I mean, I see both
There's a lot of
sides.
discussion, I think, that
Yeah,
needs to happen.
I think we do. So, so who's to say, we're like, well, give you a 10% discount, 25, 50%, I don't know. That's why I'm trying to work with my counterparts in 19 other towns for us together to say, all right, where are we as a group? Number one, to defend our residents to the state, to help us get resolutions for them. And then two, personally, so we can help these folks, we need to come together to a consensus. And we met only 2 weeks ago, we're meeting again in 2 weeks, to discuss just those things. So we need to get some movement on this, and we're looking proactively to try to assist people in our towns. And I want to be able to do that as a concerted group without all of a sudden, we decide, oh yeah, we're gonna waive it, and now we've got everybody who's got a friend relative in Somersville and Camillian, hey, now I'm gonna go to you, put the pressure on you, because now they've done this, when we don't know what the outcome is yet. So, I'm
Can I say,
willing
am I
to,
allowed to, do you mind?
You have
Or do
3
you want me to
seconds.
wait?
3 seconds.
that's fine.
I can do it.
That's fine.
I can't do it. One of the things what you said is, the homeowners aren't the ones that are coming in to pull the permits. It's the contractors that are coming in to pull the permits, and none of them have asked to waive anything. The two people that are asking in question are doing part of the work themselves to save money from the contractor. So we don't normally see the homeowner coming in to pull a permit on that.
So you're suggesting that maybe if the contractor's going to do it and we waive the fee, the homeowner's never going to see it?
There is no way that they're gonna see that.
Right, are they gonna have a line item that says waived permit minus $1,000?
I just wanted to clear up, it's
Right.
not,
No, I'm
I
glad you
really
said
don't
something. I agree
think
with you.
that,
Yeah.
that waiving it is going to now 500 people come out to pull permits. That's not how it's been happening. I just wanted to correct that.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, fair.
usually the contractor that pulls it.
Okay.
Right.
In these two rare cases,
Yep.
we did.
What I do know, and to make clear, is one of the individuals, in fact, he's having the work performed, and he has said it's difficult, it's coming up with the money. We're allowing him to have the work started at his residence, whereas normally that's not how it works. You pay the permit, you get the okay, and then you start. We're aware of that though, and we made a conscious decision to allow that for the short term because of his concern. He's in his 80s with his wife, lifelong residents, so we absolutely care about what these folks are going through. So to that end, we're making sure they understand it. So now it's a matter of though, us tackling it as a complete topic, not just fees, it's the concrete issue in its entirety. So I agree and understand both, all our perspectives here. I think we're on the same page to figure out, we need a little info, and we want to be able to do something. I just don't want to jump into it without having all the information.
Yeah, and to Mary's point, there's two emails here that both say the same thing. They do feel that waiving permit fees typically benefit the contractor only.
I just have one other comment on that also. 3 seconds on this one.
Okay.
And then you fall into all these other contractors that have pulled permits already.
Yeah.
Are they gonna come back and say, well, you waived it, so are you gonna
Right.
give me money back?
So then the option could be where, regardless of what the contractor does, the homeowner could fill out a form and application requesting to get a reimbursement for some of the permit fees. And it can either be accepted or denied, in which case, at that point,
Well, what also
Accept
may
one,
be,
you gotta accept the
well, what
one.
also may be true though, if in fact, let's look forward, hopefully, future thinking in October timeframe now after the state's investigation is complete. There's a financial solution, which has to, there's no doubt, the fees that they're charged as part of this whole project to fix their home should be part of that solution. So in fact, the point may be moot if they're working on a solution and if there's going to be a financial solution. I think the fees would be something rolled into that same solution, so it wouldn't impede or address our concerns either way. It would be cared for by legislation or however else.
right. And, I mean, I don't know if that will ever happen, but if it does.
I don't know,
if
we're
it
all,
does, wonderful.
they're all hoping, we're all hoping that somebody's coming up with a solution and it's gonna help.
So what do we do? Do we kind of table this?
I
or-
say yes until, and I'm also waiting for, and the state has said, their investigation's supposed to be complete in September. So I think if nothing else, it certainly warrants us waiting a little longer to figure out, is there something coming that's gonna help us?
Right.
Help us as towns address our residents, just like the other 19 towns. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I agree, and I just thank you again, Mary, because
Yeah,
that was
there's
great.
also more regulations coming out starting in October that could mean more
More work.
work for Dennis, yeah.
Sure.
So
Dennis
we
loves
just,
to work, so it's no. The more you pile on him, the better.
So, no, I don't need a motion, it's just discussion, so, I say absolutely, we have it on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
sounds
The
good.
next scheduled meeting. Okay? Discussion to amend the blight ordinance, did we get any? Steve's out.
did you? I talked to
Where you
him,
going?
he's
Yeah.
still sick.
I'm not blind.
I know.
Oh, boy.
Apparently I am again.
Camera, I
Two
can't say a
things I-
thing, it's being videotaped.
Bye, Dennis.
The blight ordinance, we hired a group in Glastonbury to, solidify, our blight ordinance, because there was some question as to how the process works currently.
Thank you.
Our blight officer, who's unfortunately got sick a couple days ago, has been working with them to kind of make sure to establish and reestablish what was currently on the books for us for an ordinance and the process by which we use it. And where this law firm has told us, here's where some adjustments need to be made, some changes need to be made in addition. So we're just about complete now, I think, with what they put together for a new improved blight ordinance that basically won't be just so the blight officer is the only one that can perform that function. Technically, how it works is there could be other employees in the town, actually, to be told today, they have to be an employee of the town that could be designated to follow through on the process. Here's the first thing you send, the certified letter, here's the next process 2 weeks later, and then there's a checklist basically of how we go forward with handling blight issues. And again, the
That's
purpose
current one.
of the blight ordinance is really for
No,
people
John,
to
That's the new one. that
improve,
was in
the condition. This is not a revenue stream for the town, because there's fees imposed. It is really just for you to fix your issue. Because what will happen is, we get a phone call, email, or visit from a resident about another location in town saying, hey, do you have any idea what's going on here? Here's what it looks like, here's photos, or can you please visit? And this is what either my blight officer does, or I've been out to different locations, and we've all seen them around town, and we'd like them fixed up. So we're just making sure that this thing legally is very sound, and it's very clear, so even the residents don't know the process is very, very defined, saying, here's what's happening, here's the first letter, here's what is the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and then you get to some fees we impose to force them to get it cleaned up or remedy. So, this has been, it was going a little longer than we wanted, but, part of the firm that we were working with, was caught up with something else. But now we're almost back together, I think it's almost complete.
That is the cleaned up, the very last version that was there.
So is this,
Do we know, can we highlight like what's changed? Do we know?
I have the one in there that is the one crossed off in red line.
Oh,
Do you
it
guys
is.
want that too?
To be honest with you, I can read this
I
and
know.
I don't know
well,
what
for our own
changed.
information, yes, to have, I know though this was, we didn't write it, it's from a lawyer, paid.
Well, no, I get it, I'm
No,
just
you can
curious
have-
what he changed.
No, I think we can have that, so you can have what the difference was and what the missing pieces were.
Was there a difference, or is this just more defined?
There's some differences that they changed, so I
The
think this is,
original one's on the website.
right.
Okay, so I can just print off the original on the website.
Yeah.
Do that, let me just grab it. So, Beth, for our edification, the ordinance is it is the ordinance, although some things were changed, and that has to be approved at town meeting.
We're going to take it to a town meeting to amend.
Correct, okay, so we need to approve it, to take it to a town meeting to amend it.
So I will make a motion to take the amendment for the blight ordinance to a town meeting.
Are we sure this is done?
Yes,
Okay, so this is the final.
This is it. Yep.
This is, okay, so it is done, and I'll second.
Looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, it looks good, I just didn't, I
Right.
just wanna make sure that they're not gonna change it again, and,
all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
When would the next town meeting be?
We'd have to schedule that, so
Oh,
we don't have one scheduled.
If we have something that we might be sitting.
Public comment? Public? No? Public? No? Okay, we don't need to go into executive session because that's, they haven't ratified that contract yet. That has to do with the, library union, let's call them. Which is a tentative agreement with them, they just haven't ratified it yet. So I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I will second.
Ooh, 6 o'clock coming up.
All those in favor?
Yeah,
Aye.
Aye.